All right, point number 4.
Yeah.
The main way that we use artificial intelligence right now is the foundational frontier models. That's Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT, and Grok primarily in this country. And then worldwide, you've got Mistral, DeepSeek, Quinn, and a handful of others. Most people, when they use AI, they interface with one of these bots somehow, whether it's via voice, whether it's via chatbot, like keyboard and mouse, or even via API. The issue that we're having right now is that as these models get bigger and bigger and bigger, the utility doesn't increase as fast. So ChatGPT now allegedly is trained on something like 1.2 or 1.3 trillion different parameters. But most people don't need all of those parameters. What we need is a small model that's really good at what we need it to do. It's great for a frontier model where we can discuss the politics of the War of 1812 and why my elbow hurts and the best tomatoes for spaghetti sauce. But when we're talking about business, I want an AI model that is good at doing one thing. That's good at writing briefs that I can submit to court. It's good at generating content with my brand voice. It's good at doing this one particular task. And to do that, we need small models, much, much smaller than the frontier models. Maybe 3 billion parameters, 5 billion parameters. That's really all that it takes. And when I have a model that small, I can run it on a 2-year-old MacBook or a phone or something like that. I don't need massive data centers. I don't need big, expensive hardware. I can run it on consumer grade hardware that I can find at your average Best Buy. As AI adoption increases, costs continue to go up. There's more concerns around data security, data privacy. We don't want our data leaving our network, those types of conversations. The models themselves will migrate into the businesses themselves. They'll have smaller models that are dedicated for one particular task that is trained on their data, and it runs on some piece of hardware that could sit on your desktop. NVIDIA released a piece of consumer grade hardware that could run a fairly large LLM on your desktop 6 months ago. Well, as of this recording, about 6 months ago. And like I mentioned before, you can run it on a fairly old laptop for not too much money, a couple $100. So if I have exactly what I need right there, why do I need to use Claude or ChatGPT or whatever? Now, granted, those frontier models, they have a much, much higher level of intelligence. They're capable of far more things, but I don't always need those things. So what we end up having is an escalation system. 80% of the work will be done locally with a local model that's dedicated to this task. And then anything outside of that, well, then we can escalate it to a larger model that the company hosts in their infrastructure, or we can escalate it all the way to one of the big frontier models that is hosted on someone else's infrastructure. But by doing that, we keep 80, 85, 90% of the workload in-house. That helps compliance, that helps security, that helps regulatory concerns, and it's going to be cheaper. Now, a lot of people aren't happy about this, or they think it's not going to be possible because it comes with a certain amount of maintenance. Also, we spent the last 15 years migrating to the cloud and getting rid of server rooms, and they'll say, oh, you're just going to bring all the servers right back. Those are valid concerns. And those are problems, those are friction points that each company will have to decide in which way is going to be best for us. The more highly regulated they are, the more benefit or the more likely it is that they might see a benefit in running it locally. So running things locally will become the new normal. As smaller models continue to improve in performance, companies are leaning into it. IBM's Granite models are fantastic. As of this recording, they can handle a lot of these workloads for enterprises and for smaller businesses as well. So don't be surprised when more businesses have more smaller models running locally dedicated to a single task.